Hello.
Hello. Hold on one second. Let me get my. Can you wait? Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear and see you.
All right. I can hear you.
Can you see me?
I can see you.
Can you?
Do you see what I see?
I see. Hi.
Hey.
Happy Corey's birthday / full moon.
Happy day. Here, let me actually, with that being said, I got this balloon at Corey's birthday. Let's see if I can do this right.
Yes. Wonderful. Is he 31 or 30? Was this 30?
31.
31.
Yeah. It was a great
31.
time, man.
Yeah. What was there like a big to do, or was it just a gathering of some good peoples, or what?
Yes. Well, I think originally it was supposed to be a surprise party, but then Adam, you remember Adam, right?
Woods Beckenstein?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, he apparently blew the surprise a couple of weeks ago.
There you
And
go, Adam.
yeah, so it turned into like it was supposed to be a big thing. Then Corey found out, and then when I got up there, we Maddie wanted Mike and I to take Corey to see a movie to get him out of the house. I think to like, I guess she was trying to get like everybody to show up before he got back so that, like surprise.
Right.
And that didn't actually work out that way. But it was still a really good time. And we went and saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Was that the animated one?
Yeah.
How was it?
Oh my God, dude. Best Spider-Man movie of all
Really?
time. Yeah.
Did you see it in 3D?
No, but I want to go see it in 3D. I was a little surprised at first when Maddie suggested the two options. It was either we see Spider-Man or Glass. And I was like, yeah, but Corey's not going to like either of those movies, just like on principle alone. And then Maddie was like, no, Corey suggested either one of those movies. And I'm like, really? Okay, well, let's go see Spider-Man, I guess. And I had no idea what we were in for. And Mike was saying he saw it. And I asked him when we were getting ready to go into the theater, I'm like, so is this going to be like a kid's movie? I knew it had something to do with alternate universes, and it was a cartoon. So I assumed like on some weird way, I'm like, oh, it's probably just a kid's movie. And Mike's like, well, it's just as much of a kid's movie as the original Spider-Man movies were. And I'm like, oh, okay. And wow, amazing. The graphics, the visual effects, and the animation was amazing, but the story was great. Super creative. The way that they introduced like this whole multi-dimensional Spider-Man concept. Got teary-eyed at a few points, in fact.
Sweet.
It was really good. I recommend seeing it, man.
And probably in the theater then as well. That'd be the best experience.
Yeah, and if you can see it in 3D, definitely do that. I'm gonna go back and try to see it in 3D. It was so cool, man. So
Awesome.
cool. So cool.
Corey liked it?
He loved it. He loved it, which is like I feel the ultimate beyond Rotten Tomatoes fresh report. If Corey likes it, it's definitely good.
I agree, except for the fountain. But besides the fountain,
I know that's the thing. Like I always assume that Corey is not gonna like a movie. I'll just gauge and be like, yeah, Corey won't like that.
I kind of feel similarly about his tastes, but pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So how are you, man? How's everything going?
Pretty good. I was about ready to do this, and then Abigail pooped on the floor a couple of times. So that's mostly how my life's going these days.
Hey.
She's getting less and less accurate with the puppy pads, which is, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. But besides that, I'm good. I had a second interview today for a new job, which went well.
Oh, really? What kind of job?
It's still in the service industry, but it's like a front of house manager job at a Southern Creole kind of restaurant. Yeah, but I had a buddy who worked there before, and they're like not a corporate restaurant, but they have like 4 different restaurants in Milwaukee, so they're kind of like a smaller group, but they've been doing well, and then every time they do a little bit better, they open up a new restaurant. So So they're a good company and stuff like that. And then I met with one of the owners today for a while, and then one of the other guys too. So it went well. And then one of my coworkers who I put down as a reference, she got called today after my interview. So it sounded like they're pretty interested. So we'll see.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, my current work is not the best situation. I'm not sure if I've told you anything about it, but it's
last I remember you mentioning there was some stuff going on with the management. Like I remember there was some sort of shit going on.
So it's motivated me to poke around and put my resume together and see what else is out there. So bare bones, it's been a good experience to just explore my options, get my resume together, and mentally kind of be like, all right, this has been over 5 years of my life. I'm kind of just ready for a new challenge, as they say. So we'll see. Either way, it's symbolic to me and kind of therapeutic. And then with the big full moon eclipse last night too, was that last night or the other night? The eclipse was
the other night. Yeah.
Did you get to see it at all? It got a little bit cloudy here for most of it, but I took Machiavelli for a walk right when it was happening, and I could see it pretty clearly. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, there was. I saw it briefly. It's been raining here a lot, actually. Like almost every day for 2 weeks. It's been on and off raining, and everything is. In the last 2 days, it's really cleared up, and the vibe is so nice. For one thing, everything's green. Everything feels alive. But that being said, when the eclipse was happening, you couldn't really see the moon. There was maybe a 5-minute window where we could see it. And then I went to get my camera to take a picture of it, came back, and it was covered up with clouds again. But I did get a picture of the eclipse itself, but it was past the point where it was red. And I've seen that before. I feel like I've seen it maybe 3 or 4 times, that type of red moon bit. And yeah. Did you hear, I didn't see it or read it, but just my dad told me there was apparently a meteorite or an asteroid or something that like hit the moon right at the time during that eclipse. Like everyone's like watching the moon, and all of a sudden a fucking meteor hit it. I don't know if that's true or not. If I don't know if you heard about that.
I haven't heard anything about that. No, I will definitely look into it though. That sounds very coincidental. If anything.
Yes.
That's cool though. How have you been feeling the effects of the moon? Are you feeling healthier now? You had a cold flu or something before, or is that all cleared up?
From the last time we did our show, I feel significantly better. No cold anymore. Also, I don't know if I told you, but I got a new gym membership, and I got a personal trainer now, which is like, that was one of the, like, I didn't go to the gym the next day. Like said I was going to go to the gym first thing, didn't do that. But I went into this gym and signed up, and I had this intention, like, I'm going to see what personal training options are going to be like. And as soon as I walked in, the guy I was talking to, he's like, oh, I'm a personal trainer, you want to sign up? And like, I didn't even have a chance. And I was just like, fuck it. Yeah, sure. He's like, want to be here tonight at 6? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Wow. And it is intense, man, doing like all sorts of like not even using the machines, but doing a lot of CrossFit type, just calisthenic type stuff, and like the mountain climbers and pushing the sled across the thing and squats. I've never done squats before in my life, so it's like I've never really worked out my lower body. And since I started up with this, I've just been like super sore, but feeling really good about it. Once a week, made this commitment, and the dude is really cool. And it's a good gym. I feel good. I've already lost like maybe just under 10 pounds since New Year's, so I feel good about that.
Awesome. That's a good start. It definitely helps to have somebody else on your team, right? You can't really, makes it harder to sneak away and do the thing, but if someone's there like waiting, like another person, like, all right, we got to do this, let's do it, that really helps.
Yep. Yeah, it does. And the first time I went in to do the personal training, it was supposed to be for an hour, but I had not really like had the chance to go in. I was thinking I was going to go in and do some like running or something, just kind of get into to warm up. But I didn't do any of that. And the first day I went in, I woke up a little late and I was like, oh, I'm too tired. Let me drink some coffee. I didn't drink too much water. I get to the gym and I'm doing this, like just pushing the sled back and forth. It got to a point where my legs were like literally jello. I couldn't walk. And he was just testing the waters, I think, to see how well I could handle all this stuff. And it got to a point where he's like, all right, I think we're done. And we're standing there at the front desk and he's trying to explain to me the meal plan. He's texting me some workouts. He's talking to me. And this whole time he's talking to me, I'm just like,
uh-oh.
Yeah, I felt it coming in, like the coffee, like no food, no water, just like waking up, doing coffee, and then just full force for a half hour. I'm just standing there, just kind of like, and then
I feel like I might have seen that face before.
yeah. Parted ways. Get like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. Fucking puked my brains out in the fucking gym bathroom,
Yeah.
and just like, and it was. I saw this great meme on social media somewhere that day of it was a GIF from Men in Black, from Edgar, Vincent D'Onofrio, and he's the guy who gets the bug, give me sugar. He's like that GIF of him just like walking on the street like. And the meme was just like me walking to my car after going to the gym for the first time this month. And it was literally like that, like me hobbling to my car. I like throw up and get in my car. I'm just sitting there like combat fatality mode. It was just like, okay. So and he gave me a good meal plan. So now I'm really sticking with that and it's helping a lot.
Cool, man. Good luck. Stick with it if you can, if you want to. I mean, obviously, hopefully it'll only get easier from here. Start at the bottom. I've definitely seen a video of I've seen a video of this guy who presumably was walking out of the gym, and he was going to his car, and this guy had just worked out so hard on his legs that he couldn't get into his car, and his friends were just taking a video of him laughing at him because his legs he was like on the ground, couldn't get into the car. Because his legs were so jello, because he worked either too hard on them or hasn't done work on them in a long time. So I know how that goes too. It's just they start shaking and you just can't move. But that's like try to think of that in a positive way. It's okay.
Oh, super positive.
Now my legs know that what's coming. Hopefully, if you can stay with it, for sure.
Oh yeah. I'm excited to stay with it, and part of the thing I'm doing is I signed up for 6 months. Like part of a thing, it's like one time a week I meet with this guy, and he gave me a workout routine to do like during the week when I'm not there, and a lot. What's cool is like doing all this stuff that the things I'm doing and learning in there for the most part are things that I could just do not even at the gym, like all basic, just using my own body weight to do this. And I told him like, I have no knowledge of like any of the machines. I don't know what to do. He's like, yeah, we're not even going over there. We're not going to use the machines. We're going to be in that room back there. And we go back there and it's cool. Like one of the things is doing the tire lift. Like, like there's a huge tire and you got to just like flip over this tire for like 50 yards back and forth. And it's, I already feel a lot more strength from doing that. And just doing it consistently already for about, was this like 2.5 weeks now. I feel really good about it. And yeah, like you said, having that person there to kind of cheerlead you on, like to hold you to that, like, I just keep going another 10 seconds. It's like, and then also another cool thing about the gym I'm at, it's so many more a lot younger crowd there than the gym I was at before. It was more like the one I was at was more like a older, like seniors there most of the time. And it was a good gym, but it was very compact. And this one everyone's so much more friendly. Like people were talking to each other and like, hey man, what's up? And so it's a good vibe. It's a good vibe. It's a good motivator.
Nice, dude. Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you.
Keeping
it rolling. Yeah. So man, we're going to the monolith, bro.
Yeah. I was talking to my, my buddy, Skylar's cousin actually. And I was like explaining to him, he's like, I want to travel. I'm like, I'm going to New York. And he's been there a couple times too. But then, he's a little bit into alternate theory, conspiracy stuff too. But then when I laid out, like, so we're staying in the Millennium Hilton, which was, have you seen Space Odyssey? Okay, you know that, and it's built to be the same dimensions as the monolith, and the monolith represented either the inspiration to evolve, or it was there to witness the evolution itself. Either way, it was there during its presence. Kind of represented the jump in evolution, or just like, you know, multiple things, obviously. But that's a theory that a lot of people have about it, right? Because everyone has to touch it, and as soon as they touch it, something happens, basically. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then 2001, what happened in 2001? And then this monolith was literally right next to the trade centers. And when I told him that, we were like at work, he's like, oh my God, I just got the goosebumps.
Did he know about that? Was he aware of that when, like, the 9/11 like monolith connection?
No, not at all. So when I told him that's where we're staying, and our hotel room looks out over the memorial, and we're going there to like consciously work on stuff, he was just like, wow, that gave me the goosebumps. That's really cool. So it kind of, and then I kind of had to lay out, I was like, yeah, me and my buddy Alex, you know, part of our friendship was founded on talking about 9/11, basically. So it's just a long time coming, but it's pretty fucking exciting that it's all booked and it's ready to go. And we have a lot of stuff to do. I feel like the more that we plan out, the better. But then also obviously leaving up fuck off time, or like, you know, wing it. You don't have to say that we have to do this at this minute and this at this hour, but I think it'll help if we kind of designate how to spend our time in the hotel room, but then leave a couple of things up to however we're feeling or however things are going, obviously. Yeah. But I think that would benefit us to have at least a general schedule of what we want to do, instead of just getting there and being like, all right, you want to talk about mandala, or do you want to like watch a movie, or do you want to like break dance?
No. Yeah, we're totally on the same level. I think that's like absolutely so important. This is with so much time built this in the making, there's no reason we should not plan this thing out. And I like what you said, that we should leave some like wiggle room, like some availability to just, if we even plan it out in chunks where we commit to, 4 hours here, and then we have a break, and then like a couple of like hour blocks. Like if we could, commit that, and then have that empty time to be able to also, cut loose. Cause that's all work and no play is not such a good idea. And then also, Jeremy works in Midtown. No, he works over by St. Mark's, which is maybe a 20-minute walk from where we're going to be staying. So, I talked to him, and he offered to us any time that we want to like stay at his place or whatever. That's something that'll, we can have some time. I think he mentioned there was a concert that he's playing with this guy who was this band Lost Boy. So we could go see that like one of those nights. So we have some like, things that we could do on the down low, or on the low down, or the free time, however we designate that time. But man, this is, it's kind of funny too. It's like the 10-year reunion was it in 2009, and it was on September 11th in 2009. It was like the last day at the house, I believe, when we were packing up, when that space shuttle was landing. Yeah. For all the people listening right now, we were about to leave the house, and you can learn more about our experiences at the house on previous episodes, but it was like great experience of, coming to an end in college and all that. We're all moving out, and we were developing 5, which is the third part in the trilogy at the time for Mandala. So we were like writing out all this stuff and developing ideas, and then on September 11th, last day at the house, and then all of a sudden just as like, boom, like car alarm started going off, and it was just like, what the fuck, and like 9/11 in our minds. So we're like, what's happening? It's happening, and turns out one of the space shuttles, it was like the last space shuttle, was landing at Fort Edwards, or Camp Edwards, or Edwards Air Force Base. Yeah, that was surreal, because we didn't have any we didn't have cable anymore. I think we had already given back the cable box, and we didn't have a TV or anything.
so we didn't really know what was going on. And we know what earthquakes were like, and that didn't feel like an earth. It shook like an earthquake, but it was so loud and direct and quick that was like, we're like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like mentally we were just like looking for a mushroom cloud, or we were like trying to figure out what happened. But then, yeah, we figured out not too long after that it was just a space shuttle coming back into the atmosphere.
breaking the sound barrier.
Yeah, pretty wild.
So with that, it's just the synchronicity with that too. Like 10 years later, we're going to be inside the monolith at ground zero, and we're going to be. It's like we haven't decided exactly what we're going to be doing yet, but just the fact that we were in the development stage, like let's sit down and write something. It was in relation to Mandala at the conclusion of a major cycle, and now it's like even the last one we did, the last show we did, it's like we're on the beginning of a new cycle now. It's like the end, but it's all. I think we could both agree that it's like we feel like even with your job, looking for a new job thing, we're initiating a new cycle. So it's very timely in its way,
and it feels that way. Obviously, with being the beginning of the calendar year as well, and the blood red wolf moon or whatever is going on, and it's very symbolic how it happened. But I'm excited for it just to see what comes of it, because it could go mostly how we planned, or it could take a drastic U-turn and go wherever it takes us. I think we'll be open to it if we find a different pathway, or decide that our time could be used better, or who knows if we're going to meet somebody there, or who knows if there's what's going to happen. Having a plan is good, but then also being able to adapt to new things. As Anthony Green said, nothing you ever planned on ever turns out the way you planned. So we have to plan for that non-plan to happen. But I think we're good at. But I think having so we're there Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and we leave
that's great.
Thursday. So I think I'm getting in a little bit before you. I get in at 2, and then I'm just going to take an Uber to the hotel, and then I can check in around 3. They'll probably let me check in right when I get there. So then Monday night, we'll have you get in at 4, you said?
Yes, let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's like 4:30, something like that.
Okay. Well, either way, we can take it easy-ish. You'll have a longer travel day than I will, obviously. My flight's only like 2 hours. So I think we could take it easy the first night and kind of just get into it, like ease into it and get some dinner and whatever we want to do. And then maybe even plan it out a little bit more while we're there, leave a little bit up to the gods. And then once we're in the space, I think it will be able to get a better feel for it too, because I think it's kind of segmented a little bit. There's like our bedroom area, and then there's kind of a lounge area. I'm not sure.
Oh shit. I'm excited, man.
So we'll have different spaces to work with, and I think I'm not sure if it's on a corner, but it's definitely got a lot of windows.
Awesome.
From what I recall. So I think it'll be good to kind of assess the space, walk around, get some food in our belly, and then either get right into it. I feel like we can have a time where we're both like a freestyle time, where it's kind of like just projects that you've been either thinking about or working on, or something that just popped into your head, or like, something you want to accomplish in the next 5 years, or a script you want to write, or a movie you'd like to direct, or something like that. I feel like we could have a spitball session, because we're obviously, a lot always comes from the two of us. I think we're good at that's the one thing we're best at, I think, is coming up with ridiculous ideas, and also good ideas and bad ideas, and just ideas in general. We're really good at that. So I think we owe it to ourselves and the monolith itself, to just kind of spitball with each other and just channel like, oh, and then this, and then that, and then this, and then that. And then we can, what's your recording? I'll bring my little voice recorder, just to have, but what's going to be your recording? I'm going to bring my laptop too. Are you going to bring any mic, or what's your plan as far as recording stuff? Because obviously we're going to do a podcast at some point, but it would be nice to just be able to record anything that's happening at any time,
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to bring this microphone.
Okay.
I'm going to bring my laptop, which I just cleared off like everything that was not necessary. I
Okay.
bought an extra hard drive, backed everything up. So like my computer is like, it almost feels like a brand new computer,
Cool.
which like a nice thing. And then I've got extra hard drive space. I'll bring all that. I'll bring this microphone. I'm going to bring my webcam. So I figure we can have that just kind of set up. So at any point we want, we can just like hit record and just be like recording onto a thing for like a common area. And then if you're going to have, you have like a recorder, like an portable audio recorder. So that'll be good for like points, just like on the fly, always have that in the pocket. Just be like, oh, this, boom. So we'll have those. I want to have these.
Obviously, we'll have our phones too that can always record
Yeah.
at least a long amount of audio and then video if we need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that'll be good for any brainstorming session. I think we should plan on just doing at least having one of those. Like we don't need to have a video recording of all of them, even though that would be cool. But I think the audio would just be handy. It's the same little one that I've had since the house. So that'll be another relic that we could bring into it, which is kind of crazy to think that we were sitting at the dining room table using that same thing that we'll be sitting in the monolith using.
Yes. Yes. And speaking of relics, that's one of the things I was thinking that we could do maybe after I think eating, like getting there, checking in, la-di-da, and grounding ourselves.
Yeah.
First, be literally after flying in, absolutely important.
Mm-hmm.
Got to honor that balance right off the bat. But then one of the things I think we should do, maybe even like either during or first to initiate that, is to set up like just like a little ceremony. I'm going to bring a portable bundle that I have, and it's like a bundle's the like I have this whole box of all my spiritual stuff, like with my like sage and the thing and the shell and the rocks that I have. I'm going to bring a smaller version of that just to have set up like a little sacred space. We can have just a spirit oriented ceremony just to honor the directions, honor each other, honor the journey that led us to this point, honor the future that's going to lead us from this point on, really just like establish a sacred space. And we could either do that in the monolith. We could figure out a way. I think at the time we can really, brainstorm the best possible way to do that. But if we do some sort of thing that's not immediately just engaging our minds, but just really engaging the spirit. So now that I'm thinking about this and the way you just said with the brainstorming thing and just free flow and like, let's get all the tangents going right off the bat. It's like first thing we do is we land. Second thing we do is we activate the body with the food. The third thing we do is activate the spirit with the ceremony. And then the fourth thing is we just like let our minds explode with ideas. So we'll have the body, the spirit, and the mind in that thing. Cause like you said, we're really good at just riffing ideas and getting creative. And once especially since we're in that space and we've honored our feelings, our bellies are full, maybe we've got some like beer or whatever. And then we have set our sacred intention, and then we just like blast off from that point. Then we go beyond the infinite. We got to make sure that we have like all of our shit together before we go beyond the infinite.
I agree. That's a great way to put it. Be like very intentional about it. We're good at being intentional about it, but it is easy to get ahead of ourselves. And I think it will be good not to rush anything, because we do have, 3 nights and 2.5 full days of experiencing this. So there's no rush. Like we don't have to wake up early. We don't have to stay up late. We could do whatever we want. We could stay up till 8 a.m. the next day, sleep for 8 hours, and then get up and work through the night. Like however we want to do it, whatever we feel. I feel like we shouldn't feel like obligated or on somebody else's schedule. Like we should have guidelines, but I think we should ultimately, we're in this moment, especially if we set the intentions and we do all these things, then like you said, we'll just blast off. And if we go beyond the infinite, if we go beyond Jupiter, if we go to the Pleiades, if we go to Andromeda, if we go back to Atlantis, then that's where we go. But I like that, like setting the intention, but doing it, I feel like calmly, like not aggressively, just kind of like, not like it's a chore, but like, okay, take a breath, land, like you said, and then do everything not as fast as we need, like at pace, as they say, like just kind of take it as it comes. because we'll have, we'll be settled in the hotel you'll be there by, I don't know, 6, we'll say at the latest. And then take a lot of time. Maybe we're tired, maybe we're not, but yeah, I like that. And then I think that would be a good way to set it off. And then maybe the whole first night can just be setting the scene, getting in the space, getting ready for the experience, and then just seeing where it takes us and then blasting off. I think that'll be a good catapult for the rest of the trip. And then the next morning, the Tuesday morning, that's when we can be a little bit more regimented.
And come up with some kind of like rough schedule. Yeah, that's and I think doing that first night of just, it's like the food and the spirit thing is like to do that. I think it's a really smooth and gentle way of just like sending a signal to the universe and to the monolith and to our higher selves and all that stuff that we're here. We're committed to this, and we're also taking care of ourselves, and we're just like, we're being easy about this, as opposed to just like jumping down and like, all right, let's do this now and this next. It's like, just do that, and then and I think during that process we'll start to, even after we talk tonight, we'll probably have some more ideas, but I feel like that first night we'll have a much better idea of like the kinds of goals that we want to accomplish while we're there. And then based on all that, we'll be able to come up with a schedule like of things that like, okay, let's commit to this, let's work on this. And then, so I think that's a really good plan to have, I think. And the amount of time that we're going to be there is, I think, just right with that.
Agreed. So I'll have a couple of things that I'd want to look over, personal projects. And then obviously I haven't even looked at Mandala since we last talked about it. So I feel like that'll be, obviously Mandala is a hub of what we're doing here. And then I have a couple other things that I'm working on. And so I'm just going to bring those along. And then I feel like it'll be really easy for us to jump back and forth. But once we get all the inner stuff out of the way, when we're like the first night, and just kind of getting all the cosmic throw up, to put it grossly, but something we need to get out of our system, basically, just because we haven't had time like this in a couple of years. I mean, even when we were in Venice, we didn't really have a lot of time to have these moments. We did a little bit, but this is
new. This is like totally a new experience. We've had times where we've like vacationed or gotten together and had an intention, like, okay, like tomorrow night we'll do Mandala. This is a thing where we've committed, like, we're going to get there. We have a place that we're going to be doing this thing. It's basically a foreign environment to both of us. I mean, it's totally a new experience. So we're going to be able to really task these things out in a way. I think there's going to be a unique vibe there that we can really see what happens and have intentions to like really make this work. I feel like we're going to this will be a good preliminary experience to what graduation can be, maybe like a pre-grad class type of a thing.
Pre-grad preview to graduation, maybe like a virtual simulation of graduation, possibly. Like putting your foot in the water. So I'll bring the things that I'm going to bring. You bring the things, like if you have a couple of things you want to bring, whatever projects, say whatever, like literally whatever, anything we would want to bounce off of each other. I feel like we could eventually dedicate times to just thinking about your project or my project or the project that we came up with when we're sitting there, or an old project, or talk about 5, because we haven't talked about that in a long time. Talk about hidden, there's a lot of things. So I feel like we have enough definitely to occupy all of the time.
Yeah.
And then also a little bit of time I think we should watch a couple of movies, and just kind of veg out and have another Independence Day 2 experience. And and then if there are videos or something that you'd like me to see, because I actually just downloaded legally the Aaron Sorkin. Like, have you seen those masterclass advertisements? You know.
Yes.
So I saw the Dead Mouse one about like music production and stuff like that. And no offense to him, but it was basically worthless. But I just got the Aaron Sorkin one about like screenplay writing.
Oh, that sounds like it'd be a good one.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know, a quarter of the way through it, and I was watching it last night. And it's cool, it's enlightening, and he's way more human and less articulate than I had imagined, just because he's a writer, so everything that comes out sounds brilliant and witty and all that stuff. But then hearing him talk, I'm like, oh, he's a regular dude too. Holy shit. So that was like really nice to hear. But I think there's a couple of things in there, just because we're both writers, and just like he's been on TV, he's been in movies, you know, like he's got a kind of the full scope, and he's not like an old dinosaur, but he's still a guy who's been around for a while. I think that would be valuable to watch that while we're there, just to kind of spark stuff, because we're good at kind of playing off of things that we see that kind of help us in the moment, like Independence Day 2, or if there is a movie in particular that that you would want me to watch, or I would want you to watch. Like, if you haven't seen Vice by the time we get there, I think we should watch Vice. Yeah, because it's also very geographically pertinent. Because
sure.
So I think if we just mentally start preparing like tools that we want to bring along to either show each other or experience together, even if we have experienced them both independently, I think, you know, it would be good for us to kind of see how we're reacting to things, or how we react to things while the other one's in the room.
Yep.
And then obviously funny YouTube videos or anything like that too is beneficial as well. Just anything we've been gathering and we want to share with each other. I feel like let's both kind of mentally get a list, or, you know, a bag of all of the stuff that we want to kind of bring in, and
bag of tricks,
exactly. Yeah.
I've heard off the top of my head, I can already think a few things I'd like to watch with you are some behind the scenes featurettes or material from a couple of the Blu-rays I got, like the behind the scenes of Easy Rider.
Oh, okay, cool.
I got my dad Easy Rider on Blu-ray for Christmas, and we just watched that the other day. And wow, like, first of all, seeing Easy Rider on a 4K TV on Blu-ray was just like, whoa, really wild. And then watching the behind the scenes, just like learning about hearing it from all of the people involved in the fucking fiasco that was involved with making that movie, and also how historically pertinent it is as a movie. Just like, it's a slice of life of 1969, like the revolutionary filmmaking wise, revolutionary, like historically, all that type of stuff. And then like there's definitely some behind the scenes things I think it would be really cool to watch with you for sure.
Awesome. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah. Did you ever watch The Fisher King?
I don't think so.
All right, well,
is that the
Jeff Bridges, Robin Williams?
Oh, no.
Oh, perfect. That's we're watching that. We're watching that. It's number one on my list. I never forget that movie. It's my favorite movie of all time. And it takes place in New York City. Jeff Bridges, Robin Williams, like Terry Gilliam. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Awesome.
This will be great, man. We're going to have some good flow going on, I think.
I agree, and it'll be nice. I just love hotels in general, to be honest. It's always been, you know, an exciting thing growing up. Anytime I've been in a hotel, it's because it's an occasion or I'm somewhere. So I'm just excited in general to be hanging out in a hotel, because that makes it a thing, make more of an occasion than, you know, crashing on somebody's couch, which we will be doing, which will still be awesome. But it is nice to have this like official, you know, it feels very professional.
Super professional, man. The monolith.
Dude, so, and I was also thinking, like, if you want to bring like at least one nice outfit, you know, like nice.
I'll bring a suit. I'll bring a fucking suit.
Dude, I'll bring a suit too, like just to kind of look the part, be the part, and be professional about it. We could sit. I'm sure there's a desk we could sit at, you know, or we could sit on the floor with no shoes and socks in our suits, you know, because that would be a kind of melding of the two worlds. But I think doing that, or maybe even going out to dinner wearing really nice suits, you know.
Totally should. Yeah. We're gonna be there, fucking World Trade Center land. Yeah.
We'll trick people into thinking we're already famous, and then maybe who knows who we'll meet in the lobby.
Yeah, and I'm sure at some point, like, you know, I just saw like a slideshow of images that we could take, like, because I'll bring my my Canon camera. I just imagine like the behind the scene, like black and white photos of us sitting at desks, you know, like in slideshow, and the later on they'll like 50 years from now we'll be like showing the footage of us like in the pictures, but it's like as the night goes on, we're wearing these suits, and then like suddenly like, okay, we're barefoot, and then next, you know, the jackets come off, and then but later on the night, it's like we got our ties around our heads, we're like hugging telephone poles and shit. You know, that's
exactly.
like
Exactly. Yeah, obviously our minds saw the same thing there, but yeah, cool. That'll be yeah. It's I'm even just as we're talking, things are just popping into my head about what we could do there as well. So it seems like we'll kind of we have enough to kind of go on, and then I think I kind of agree with what we should get in the space, like you said, and then kind of regiment it out from there, knowing like kind of, you know, throw all our stuff on the bed metaphorically and literally, and see all of our tools that we got. It's like, you know, Apollo 13. It's like, all right, this is what we got to work with. How can we make an awesome experience out of all this? You know, what's the best way to do it? So I think that'd be a good way to do it. And we have to know what we have when we're there, and we're like, oh shit, I forgot this, or I accidentally brought this, you know. And I've been getting a lot of books. I actually just bought 2 books last night because of Aaron Sorkin. Like one of them was Poetics by Aristotle. Who wrote Poetics? Pluto? I don't know what it is.
Poetics. Was that Plato?
Plato. Maybe it was Plato.
No, I'm thinking of the Republic.
Well, one of those guys. Now
Yeah.
I sound like an idiot.
They're all.
But so I got that book, and then I got the book that helped, like his first book of, you know, which is called Adventures, like in the Screenwriting something or other. Adventures in the Screen Trade by a writer, William Goldman, and then Poetics by what's his fucking face. So I'll bring a couple of books just to have. We don't have to like read them aloud, obviously. Aristotle wrote Poetics, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that'd be cool to have as like little divination tools.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Pull up the book and be like, all right, boom, flip to the page, like,
yeah,
boom, and then just that shit'll be very relevant, I can imagine.
Exactly. So I still haven't figured out like how much stuff I'm gonna bring, clothing wise, and bags and whatnot, because everything is an extra price. But at this point, I don't care. Like I'm like giving in to the experience, right? Like there's no need to cut corners now. It's like the experience will far outweigh the amount of money that we'll be paying for the experience. So
yeah, it's an investment, super investment.
Long-term investment. I actually referenced you today during the interview, not by name, because obviously this guy doesn't know who you are, but just thinking about things in long-term instead of short-term. So like a short-term investment just doesn't seem like a good investment. But I'm like, my buddy always tells me the Chinese think about things in 500-year spans, whereas, you know, here in America, we're like today, tomorrow, and Wednesday and Thursday or whatever. So I think long-term investment, this is extremely valuable, especially if we can kind of remember all the things that we get out of it and document everything.
That's another thing too. The fact that we're going to be documenting this. I think if we have stations set up, like make it very easy to the point where like we just have like a station, like I can have the microphone set up. Real world. Yeah. Like the little confessional booth. Oh, dude, I can't believe what we just talked about. It was chill. And then you'll be like, I could hear you in there, dude. Like, oh. You know, so you're having like that. And then I was also thinking it'd be cool to have, at first I thought a dry erase board, but then if we had like poster boards set up or not, maybe set up like when we were tripping all those times at the house, we had like the poster board, and we, you know, like having areas designated, or we can even just like have those like written documents on top of the digital audio recordings or video recordings. I think just having as many ways to be able to record our creativity will be important. I
have a fresh unopened colored pencils, which I'll bring. It's only 24, but they're in perfect condition, so that'll be good.
Sounds
and then I'll bring a couple of notebooks, and then we can go to like Walgreens or something to get, if we want to get poster board or something. But I that's a great idea. It's perfect because you never know when something's going to strike, and you never know how you're going to want to express it, right? Even if you
Yep.
write 6 and you write a big.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, yeah, like, huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be good. Like, yeah, like even Apollo 13, we need to be able to just be like, Earth, Moon, monolith, Jupiter, circle back, come back. We need, to be able to have that. I've noticed that too. Just I've been taking a lot more notes. I cleaned up my computer station a lot more, so I have just a sticky note pad because I've got my notebook that I write things down that I'm more like focused on, but then I like having the different stages of it. So there's just sticky notes for just basic things. And then I've got a smaller throwaway notepad for just notes. And then from that, it's like, I've noticed it's become much more refined. So when I write things down in my notebook, it's like, I've thought about it a lot more at that point. And I feel like I'm wasting a lot less paper at the same time.
It's exact same. I have 3 notepads right here, or sticky pads, and those are little note things, and then I have my like main one that originally was a focused thing, but now it's been 6 different things, but it all works. It all works.
It's
somehow.
good to have that variety. It really helps.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm not sure if I showed you, but this is all what I'm working on.
Oh, nice.
So those are all sticky notes, and then this is like the hero's journey, and then this is the movie that I'm working on now. This is the one after it, but they're all just sticky notes and ideas. So it helps a lot just to have them laying around here and spur the moment stuff. And yes, like you said, not wasting as much paper as well, which also helps.
Yeah, and then there's something about that tactile experience of writing something down, just like putting it into the field, and then just, even if you can't see all the notes, it's like they're all in one place. And I'm sure subconsciously it helps arrange it in a way. It's like that, like the Beautiful Mind experience where he's writing everything down and then all the patterns start to come together at that point. It's like the real world version of that, exactly. putting it on paper, and then it's like the classic proverbial index card on the wall scenario.
Exactly. Exactly. We know about that. Yeah, it helps a lot. So yeah, maybe we can get some sticky pads out there as well. I'm running real low on mine, which I'm happy about. But just the tools. Make sure we have all the tools just in case whatever strikes us. Obviously, we'll both have our computers, our phones. I don't know. Should we like break our phones so they can't spy on us, or just
it's the first thing we do. We get there, sledgehammer, phones, just smash those fucking things right off the bat.
Yeah, right. At this point, I think we just assume that they're listening to everything, and it doesn't matter anyway. So
they're still listening all the time, constantly.
So it's cool, especially because we're going to be going. They're like, we have the whole Millennium Hilton bugged anyway. You guys are just playing right into our hands.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we're totally aware of that, and we're deliberately recording this right now, and we know that you're listening. And you know what? Good, glad. Thank you for listening.
Maybe you'll fucking learn something, you assholes.
Yeah, fucking Jesus Christ.
Or maybe you're nice people. Sorry. Let's hang out.
Yeah, maybe we'll learn something. Maybe we'll all work together on this.
Yeah, if you hear some things that you like and you want to give us some ideas or a fresh perspective on our ideas, we're open to suggestions, right?
Yeah, just pop in on like a little picture-in-picture. We don't mind. That'd be a little weird, I'm sure, at first, but...
Yeah. Whatever. I don't know what's going to happen there. Anything could happen, man.
Anything can happen. I can imagine. Yeah, it's got to be a very trippy experience for those people listening to all the conversations. Like, talk about like synchronicities. You walk a normal person walking down the street, be like, I can't believe that guy said that thing to me. Right, I heard that thing they said right as they were walking by, and it like meant something to me. Like, people with access to everything, they've got it such like it's the biggest tarot deck of all time. So just like anytime they press that button, it just cuts to something. They're like, I can't fucking stop. Really tripping me out now.
Yeah, right. That's gotta happen all the time. I mean, if you have access to everything, then of course you're gonna catch something that you respond to or that you're aligned with. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably got to be a little bit overwhelming. You got to probably desensitize yourself a lot from that.
Yeah, and they don't have the resource. I doubt they have the resources to do that anyway. Even if they try to, there's no real frame. I can't imagine the framework is that good to desensitize people in such a sensitive world. But it's hey, good luck if that's your mission, then enjoy. We're here to share the experience. So something else I think might be cool, like we've talked about a lot of the writing projects and things that will be basic in some way or another in development. But if I'll have my camera, I think I'm going to bring this video camera with me.
Sweet.
So it's more of a video camera than it is a picture camera. And I feel like it'll be cool to make some sort of music video type thing where we can like document the experience and harken back to like the house and the types of videos that we made, like Zob Gob or Interview, like from the house experience, really just like to take it to be able to work on a few different levels of the production process. And then doing the music video thing too, it like even just at this stage and talking about it, it's not a huge like, okay, we're going to write a script, make a movie and edit it all in one time. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. It's okay.
Dolly Part 2.
Yeah, Dolly Part 2, like Into the Monolith. Dolly Part 2, Into the Monolith. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. So
cool.
So we'll be, I think that'd be cool. Kind of do something like that too.
Yeah. And then obviously we have a little bit of time, so we'll just, whatever pops up in the next, what we got, almost exactly a month, right? Till it happens. So we got some time to absorb more things. And now that we're kind of like setting these intentions, our eyes will maybe find other things that we weren't thinking about, or we'll stumble across stuff on the old internet there. My cousin's in town right now. I saw her last night, but she lives out. I'm not sure if I told you. Well, two of my cousins. She lives in Manhattan, I think. And then her brother lives in Astoria. So I'd like to. Oh yeah, we talked about this. You met my cousin Maddie before, but her younger brother lives out there now. Your younger brother lives out there now, so hopefully we can at least see them one time. She's very creative as well. I'm sure he is on some level. But it would be nice to just talk to them, or, I'm not sure if we can, what the vibe would be like if Jeremy is that close to us. Maybe he could come into the space, like however we feel about it, maybe, we needed to bring him into the house that, one time where we're like, whenever we like summoned him from across the country to come and write these things on the wall.
Yeah. We just talked about that. Yeah.
We need the balance, so maybe it'd be good to bring somebody else into the space, at least for a little bit. Yeah. Or not, depending on how we feel. Like maybe after we do the ritual stuff, we'll be like, no, this has got to be confined to our energies. Otherwise, somebody else. But whatever we're feeling. So if we're feeling that, or like I said, if we meet a random person, or you see your buddy when we're on the subway again, like last time when we were just wandering through the subway, or if Matt or Kim or Gabe want to come, like whatever, I think keep an eye open for that, or your heart open for that. Yeah. But
I think we can simultaneously be open and receptive to the flow of just seeing what happens and maintaining the honor and respect for the commitment that we committed to for doing this. Right. Like if something comes up and we want to do it, we should. I believe in I believe compromise is something that needs. Like compromise deserves. There's a time and a place for compromise, and it's like I really think that compromise is like in the proper context is good, but my feelings lately is like really sticking to something, but like make sure that you give the space for that. So it's like I feel like compromise is almost like a cure to a disease, whereas we could focus on the preventative measures so that the disease doesn't happen in the first place, so we don't need to compromise. We'll have that space for like things to happen, but if we're commoded to something, then we can really stick to that. So I think that's going to be a good vibe for this whole thing, is the synergy and like allowing this. We can simultaneously do these things. We'll be able to have these experiences with everybody, but then also like, I think it's impossible to truly know until we're there for how that's going to unfold.
Agreed. And I like that. It goes back to your David Wilcock moment of commitment, right? Like committing to what we're doing here. This is an intention that we've put together. And if we just go out there and just get drunk every night and don't accomplish anything, that would be quite the bummer. And I don't think we're going to do that, but I think it will always be temptation for that and opportunity for that. But I agree with you. We'll just see how we feel when we get out there. And if it feels like we should go this way or that way, then we'll do that. But having the set intention in mind, starting from there, and then who knows where will we be as far as the stars and the time of the zodiac. I mean, you're
Let me look.
the
Let me
end
look
of
that up.
Aquarius, right? The end of Aquarius.
Yeah, it should be, yeah, going into Pisces. So
Nice. Right, right. I actually just got there's a couple people at work have been, oh, you don't have an iPhone. Apparently it's an iPhone app, but it's, what's it called? It's like the compatibility um, between zodiacs and, oh, it's called CoStar, which is kind of cool.
co-star.
But it just kind of, you can, you punch in where you were born and when you were born roughly. And then it kind of, you can add people, your friends, and it tells you what their moon is and what your moon is and all
Oh,
this.
that's cool.
How you
I
can.
wonder, I wonder, is it only iPhone? Do you know that
I
for
think
sure?
that's what I've heard, that it's only iPhone, but it's co dash star.
I do have an
But it's pretty
iPhone. I
cool.
haven't turned it on in a long time. Maybe I should just do
You
that.
still have an iPhone?
Yeah, I do. Like I haven't used it in so long. My old iPhone, co-star. I have an iPad.
Okay.
I'll just fucking use that.
But yeah, it'd be I don't know. I mean, obviously the full moon. There might be a full moon around then as well. No,
Yeah,
no.
I was just looking at that. So okay, so it's
The
Pisces.
25th. It says it on my calendar here.
Just based on the glance I took at this this description of that is already pretty relevant.
There's a full moon on the 19th.
All right, cool. That's nice. We'll be getting there just after that.
Yeah.
We're not going to be getting there like on the climax of shit.
No, no, no. We don't want that.
Co.
And then a new moon starts on the 6th. So we're kind of in between a bunch of stuff.
Okay, got it. Co-star personalized horoscope stuff. Yep. Okay. Okay, so listen to this. If you were born, it's the what are we getting there? 25th, right? I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you were born on February 25th, 2019. Oh, this is 2019. Okay. Ahead of your time and your thinking, always. You have unusual perspective on life. You are highly intelligent and can easily take the lead in any sort of project you undertake. Others instinctively trust you, and you demand honesty from others. However, you are also a forgiving soul at the end of the day, always aware that imperfection is not only a reality, it's beautiful in your eyes. If you rarely feel understood, however, even though you strive to understand others at best, famous people born on this day, George Harrison, Tia Leone, Enrico Caruso, Rashida Jones, and Sean Astin. George Harrison.
The 25th of February,
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Babies are like ideas, man.
Yeah. And Sean Astin.
Who's Sean Astin?
Mikey from the Goonies, or Samwise Gamgee.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's,
The accomplice on the journey, your tour buddy, your journey buddy, your
yeah, exactly. You know, like
George Harrison was kind of the same thing too, right? For the Beatles. I mean, he kind of glued it together in between the seams, but he was kind of he helped it along, right? I mean,
yeah,
they didn't need him, but they needed him.
yeah. And you know, another cool thing about Pisces is that it's ruled by Neptune, which is the planet of the subconscious, dreams. It's the symbol that's often associated with the filmmaking industry and the entertainment industry. So that's kind of cool.
Huh.
That's the tattoo I have on the side of my head.
Oh yeah, okay. There you go.
So yeah, I mean, just based on those little things right there, those brief little astrological indicators, that's a good sign.
Yeah. When's Valentine's Day? Like the middle of the month, right?
Yeah, 14th.
14th.
Yeah, I'll be just coming back from New Zealand at that point.
Sweet. And your birthday's the 16th, right?
Yep, 16th. And I've got another webinar for some reason. Like, I don't know how I feel like last year my birthday was I had like that day when we were in Venice, I had to wake up and do that webinar first thing in the morning. It's the same thing again. For some reason, I don't know how that is. It's on a Saturday. I feel like the days usually change, but I guess February is a leap year month, so maybe that's why. I was a little confused about that first. But Yeah, so doing oh, that reminds me too, we just released the the latest video that I did for Uncle Bruce. After we
Okay.
get off here, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I
Cool.
want you to see it. I'm especially proud of this one.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then that's another cool synchronicity too. It's like after all these years finally going to New Zealand to visit at their place, and how he wrote that into mandala in its own way. So that'll
Yeah.
be
Who knows how that'll affect your, your consciousness? You might come back feeling a different way, or bring something back mentally or physically. Maybe you'll find something out there. You're like, I need to bring this to the monolith to
oh
bring it,
yeah.
like
Yeah,
or
that's
not, or the opposite, or but that's cool that you'll have that experience, pretty close to our experience. So
yeah.
you'll be, I mean, that's exciting for you for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we're gonna have some good energy with this. I'm very much looking forward to that. I wonder, have you looked at like pictures of what the Millennium Hilton looks like on the inside at all?
I have not.
I'm
Just the
curious if it's like designed similar to what the Hilton looked like in that space station in 2001. If it's gonna have any, I'm sure there's gonna have to be some sort of like, Hilton 2001 pictures around or something like that. But
something, right? Because it's not a secret that it was designed to be the exact dimensions of the
better not
monolith,
be.
right? I
Yeah,
mean,
if it is, it's a poorly kept secret.
yeah, right. But I don't know how publicly they acknowledge that that's what it is. So it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to know. I also just saw a little thing, that a lot of the people who built the Trade Center were Native American,
Really?
which I thought was interesting. Maybe not a lot, but there were a fair amount, and they like made a point to like pay homage to them and say that a lot of these people, these pictures that you saw, there were Native Americans that actually put up the tower. So I thought that was a little
Inside
bit.
the hotel?
No. I'm just saying that they put. I just saw a video or
Oh,
an
right.
article,
Oh, okay.
an article saying not inside the hotel, just
No, because that just tripped me out for a second because of The Shining. You've seen Room 237, right?
oh right,
And just
yeah.
like all the Native American pictures inside of the Overlook Hotel.
Uh,
And
uh,
like for like my wires got crossed for a second one, and I'm just like, wait, what the fuck?
I probably described it not that great, but
No,
yeah.
no, no.
So,
It's just patterns and synchronicities. You were
yeah.
describing it just fine.
So that was an interesting little coincidence, I guess, that the natives helped build that big symbol, and the white man
Yeah.
brought it down. Well,
Yeah. What did I presume you've seen the whole thing that happened with that protest or whatever, the Native American elder guy and the MAGA wearing hat kids.
I haven't looked into it. I've seen 15 seconds of video and about 100 Facebook posts about it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't presume to know what happened. And initially, the perception was these kids were messing with these Native American elders, but then I've seen things that come back that saying vice versa.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't really.
It was just a clusterfuck of shit, man. It was just a clusterfuck of shit, which, upon looking at the video, an emotional response is provoked. And unfortunately, it was not covered like rationally by the media because of the emotional response, I think. And then it got blown completely out of proportion. And yeah, it's just, I think it was just really interesting to see that, this was something that got people to look at what like, oh my God, these Native Americans were being poorly mistreated. They were mocking the Native Americans. It's like, it's funny opportunist time, because there was the whole thing with Standing Rock and the whole protests up there. And there was really like this is being covered more like, oh my God, this poor guy. And it's like, dude, you didn't say shit when all this other stuff was going on.
Right.
So I think what's all I want to say about it really is that it's funny that after all of this, like people reacted, and then now are kind of retracting what they said. Like, oh, now like first emotional response, and then it's like, oh, my thinking starts to come in, and like, oh, wait a minute, actually, no, maybe there were some other things going on. And I feel like there needs to be more of a balance of like being able, back to what I was saying before about simultaneously doing both things. We need to be able to simultaneously be emotional and like connected and feel things, but also be able to use our intellect and our reasoning. And that was like after listening to the last webinar thing or podcast thing we did about like the like learn like my belief in like David Wilcock and the whole like it's conspiracy stuff. It's like I feel like I've become a little bit more rational and skeptical of things, and it's important to have both. You don't want to flip flop from one side or the other when it comes to anything. I think the evolution is really learning how to be able to manage both at the same time. And like the fact that we're going to be going into the monolith and we're planning this out, but allowing the space to be able to kind of cut loose at the same time is a really, I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us on that note.
Me too, man. Me too. We're doing things that we said we were going to do, and we're doing them, I think, the right way. We're getting better at doing these things as well. Like actually during my interview today, the owner asked me questions not having to do with the job at all, just to kind of learn about how my head works or like what kind of person I am, I guess, and asking about if you could have done something differently. Not necessarily regret, but if there's something in your life you could have done differently, what would you have done? And the first thing that popped in my head was when we lived downtown in the loft. And it's not a regret to me, but it's like that was something that we set in a large intention out to do. We made it happen, and then we didn't really follow through with it. It just didn't work out the way that we thought it was going to. And I think that we're making strides to doing stuff like that. It's good that we have those larger intentions of actually trying to make something happen instead of just, doing it the normal way of, patience and getting people donuts, and then someone notices you, and then you meet someone's cousin, and then they get you an interview, and then you get people coffee, and then they ask you a question, and they like your perspective, and blah, 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 blah. And then 20 years later, you're in a room with people finally, but it doesn't even make a difference because they're not listening to you anyway. But I think this is a stride, not quite as a big of an endeavor as getting a 5,000 square foot loft downtown Los Angeles and trying to make a studio out of it. But I think it's in the same vein of being conscious and trying to create something, doing something, setting out an intention with a group of people. This time it's just you and I, but we are a group. We're a large group, even though it's just you and I. But also talking about this specifically, this place, this time, and having this intention, and then actually following through on it. Yeah, it took a little bit longer, but everything takes longer than you think it does. And I'm also proud of us, man, that we're actually doing it, and we're prepared to do it. It's not like we're going in there blind, like, oh, I don't know, I'll figure something out. By the time I get there, we'll have something to talk about. It's like we've been kind of preparing for this for a while. You've been working on your stuff. I've been working on mine. We've been 2,000 miles away from each other for the last almost 6 years. But we've still been connected and working on our stuff and kind of building towards this. And I think this is a big step for us, in like being an adult and being professional and doing what we're going to say we're doing, and making strides, but also still keeping that youthful imagination about it. Like it's still it's more magical to me than it is anything else. This is not like a work retreat, even though it is, but it's a magical cosmic work retreat, where we're going to accomplish things and we're going to do things that adults do, and we're going to sit down and be productive, but we're also going to be like floating around, conducting spells.
2001 Space Odyssey, man. We're
Right,
going to be like
exactly.
turning into a child, turning into a man, warping back and forth, and like reaching for the monolith, looking at ourselves back in time. Yeah, it is all that. It is all that. Another funny that you brought up, I knew exactly when you were talking about the thing of thinking, how would you do something differently? It was like warehouse or the here house. And thinking about this in the context, it's like what we did, to use a metaphor. It's like we were on a spaceship, and when we went to the warehouse, it was like we were flying towards Earth, and we were like, all right, let's land there. Let's land there. We're going to land there, and we're going to dock this thing, and we're going to like set up camp, and we're going to change the world once we land there. Like, we're going in, there's no turning back. Let's fucking go. And we it was almost like we kind of like crash landed, but we didn't really hit the ground running, I would say, because there were so many other like unpredictable elements, like, fucking Apollo 13 again. It's like we're trying to get back to Earth, and like we're fucking shifting things to happen that we didn't anticipate, and then like fucking land there, and it's like, all right, let's let's do it. And it was like we had all these other variables that we were not really anticipating. But the difference, I think, one of the differences with what we're doing now, it's like we're just gonna like touch base, do some work, and then get back to our space station or get back to our like satellite orbit or wherever we're actually doing it. It's like we're coming in for like a preliminary ambassador meeting, and we're gonna do some things, like literally like the monolith. The monolith showed up, did some shit, and then fucking disappeared again. Went back to the moon. So I think that's an important thing. It's like we're learning from our experiences, recognizing the things that work and going with them, and then also acknowledging that, like, you know, we're gonna make this commitment, but we're not trying to like go down and change the world per se, even though that's exactly what is going to happen.
Yeah, well put. Obviously, it's a lot smaller of a situation, and but yeah, the Here House was like an indefinite endeavor, right? And then we didn't really have a specific end game or an exit strategy. You know, it's kind of like going into war, like, you know, Afghanistan or Iraq. It's just like, all right, we know how to get in there, and we're going to crash land, like you said. And then once we get there, I don't know what, we'll figure it out. And then it just becomes kind of a mess because of human stuff. But yeah, this is a lot more concise, and like you said, we're just here for a specific amount of time for the convention or for the meeting of the minds, the ambassadors. I like that. You know, if we don't have an experience with people directly, we'll have an experience with the entity of the monolith. Like that'll be our communicate. We'll be in constant communication with the monolith, and that will be mostly what's happening. But then knowing that we're there from this time to this time, and we want to accomplish generally this, and we have all the tools to do it, and it's not too big of an idea, I think, even though it is a big idea, but we're not expecting it to happen. Like you said, we are doing that. We are making big riffs, but we're not expecting that to all of a sudden catapult us into stardom, and we'll be making a movie by the fourth day we're there.
Yeah.
And Darren Aronofsky
we'll definitely be catapulting.
Yeah, we'll be catapulting, but we're not going to be, you know,
Darren Aronofsky will be there.
He's just going to be showing up there. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. But, you know, we don't, yeah, right. Don't expect that to happen. And also, I think keeping it simple, as the great Chris would say, and then having it just be you and I, even though we're really good at distracting each other with outrageous ideas or thoughts, I think it'll be more concise and direct. But it is, I think, like I said, an extension of the intention of what we tried to do in the warehouse, Here House, but more concise and simpler and cleaner and way more doable than whatever we tried to set out. It's like we tried to make a big statue out of a mountain instead of, you know, a statue out of a marble block this big, you know. So now we have what we need. We know it's a monolith. And we know that we have the tools we need to chisel it down to make it whatever we need to be. And it's very accomplishable within the time that we have. So we're not biting off more than we can chew, which is we're also both very good at doing figuratively and literally. So it is nice that we're setting goals that are lofty goals, but they're achievable goals, and also thinking about it in the time beyond when we'll be there. There will be effects, like not something that's going to happen immediately, but something that will happen because of the energy. And definitely, I'd say we need to do some dancing definitely in there at some point to maybe that could be the beginning, middle, and the end, just to kind of send out what we got or get in more of what we got. But I think that should be part of the ritual of just kind of shaking it out.
Yep.
And I think that area can use, because I don't know when's the last time somebody danced around around the Twin Towers. I feel like probably not in a while, and it could use maybe some dancing energy. So
yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the dancing zone yet.
No, not at all. But I wouldn't, you could get arrested for dancing there, I'm sure.
Yeah, we fucking get arrested for dancing out in the monolith, like out in front of the monolith, like fucking take them away. Take these guys away. Fucking.
Yeah.
But no, I completely agree with you. It's a good thing. And also, I feel like it's a legacy meeting. I like you said, meeting of the minds as well. It's a legacy event, a continuation of things we've developed and an evolution of all that. But then it is that like completion of something I think that's been building since we first hung out on so many levels. The fact that when we first hung out and first became friends, and the fact that 9/11 was like one of the things that we were really delving into at the time, and now and then also 2012 was in the future, like, and all the expectations of like everything's going to happen and all this. You had a lot of big lofty expectations of what was going to happen in the future. Now I think we have post 2012 many years later, it's like, and now that we're in our 30s, it's we can kind of, we have a different sense or perception of time and the way things unfold. So it's like I think like that pressure of like expectation, the fact that that's no longer the way it used to be, might allow things to happen a little bit better. If we're taking a shower and the pressure, if you're taking a shower and the pressure is too high or too hot, even, it's just like it'll hurt you. If the pressure is just right, then it's a much more relaxing, refreshing experience, and then you can go about your day and not stink. So that's like yeah. So I think we'll be able to actually manifest a lot of the things that we're setting out to do, because there's more practical parameters of expectation involved.
And practical pressure. I like that word. Like there's not too much, but there's enough on there to keep it rolling, to keep it moving. And we're not trying to, run 1,000 miles an hour, but there's enough pressure on there, on the situation, because we know what we've personally invested monetarily, which is energy, made into money. But we realize the opportunity that we have, and that we've been talking about it. And that, so there's personal pressure, but there isn't any other pressure, which is nice, because we are our own boss. And even though we were talking about like, it's nice to have a personal trainer there to motivate you, but I think we're kind of acting as that for each other and for ourselves. And it's a lot easier to do when we're together, to be like, all right, let's keep it rolling. But then if something happens, we're not going to scold ourselves and be like, hey, you guys, we're off target by 25 minutes here. Like, we shouldn't have talked about that goofy ass fucking thing for a half hour.
No.
But it's the right amount of pressure where we'll get stuff done, but also have fun, man. Because what's it about if you're not having a little bit of fun? I mean, this is our passion projects, right? These aren't things that we're paying to do this. Like, nobody's paying us to do this. Like, we're doing this pro bono, negative pro bono. Like, we're doing it because we want to do it, and we're investing in ourselves in this situation. And that's the pressure, which is a good amount of pressure. But like you said, it's not too much, and it's not overwhelming, and it's, I think, the right amount to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. And we don't even know what some of those things are going to be that we're going to accomplish, which is exciting in itself as well. Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm fortunate that even though I have a young little pup here, my parents will be able to watch her for a little bit, and I won't have to worry about her or Machiavelli,
Aw.
Hey, look, there's a little monkey.
The kill monkey. Yeah. That's what we call our dogs, monkeys.
Yeah, she's a fucking dude. She's a monkey, 100%. Machiavelli's a lion. She's a monkey. I'm not sure what I am yet. Maybe a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, probably.
But yeah, I'm very positive about this, and I feel like we have a month, like we said, and who knows what's going to even align with that. Because like last time we hung out, it was your birthday. It was in Venice Beach. It was at Hank Moody's place, and it just happened to be the NBA All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles. Like, all the All-Stars were in Los Angeles, like when we were both happened to be there. So I feel like there's also room for, I wouldn't surprise me if there was like a United Nations meeting the same day that we were there, or, some other things happening. Who knows, our meteor shower. Like, there's all these things that I think I wouldn't be surprised if they popped up. Also, Rose told me about a really cool exhibit that's at the Guggenheim as well. That's artists that she's been talking to me about for a while now. So, I mean, there's things like that we can get motivation from, or this show that Jeremy's going to, like, who knows what that'll spawn, or stuff like that. So I think keeping our eyes open for that kind of stuff too will be great, because I think it's only going to get more and more exciting the closer it comes. And then obviously you go into New Zealand, and who knows what's going to come of that. So I think this is a good start to this is like the initiation. Obviously we bought our tickets in the room and stuff like that. But this is kind of the thing that I think we're setting it in motion now, letting it roll down the hill a little bit. And then we're going to meet it once it's a big ball of snow or ideas or cosmic wonder juice or a bowl. I'm not sure.
All these things. It's going to be all these things. If I've learned anything, it's going to be all the above. It's going to be all the above and nothing. It's like, and even to like having a day, if we can, I was thinking what we could do is do like a day trip up to Mayapack and just do like, go even just having that little vacation within the vacation of leaving the city and going up into the country just for like a day and then coming back or something, just to, we can even do that podcast with Mike and Frank.
Frank?
Yeah, Frank is his buddy. They do podcast together. I don't remember. Maybe he might have came by briefly.
I feel like everybody that was there was like high school buddies.
Yeah, he was definitely
a high school buddy.
I think he was there. I think he was a high school buddy. Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Mike were in the same class together. But then with Matt Clemenza, I'd like to see Matt Clemenza there. Yeah. Just to do a little trip, maybe get some lunch, and then we can come back. I think that'll be a nice little, another opportunity like Inception to just expand the type of thinking that we can do with dream within a dream, so to speak. And
perfect.
And then the fact that we're both going to have you said your cousin?
Both my cousins.
Both are cousins.
Maddie and Bill, they're brother and sister. Yeah.
Right. So that's really cool that we'll both have we're going to have these little rendezvous within the whole experience and the synchronicity of it all. I really like I'm still really excited about the fact that we're kind of setting ourselves up for success in a way like we would create our environment before we were about to drop acid or something. Really put out all of the things. The set and the setting is so important. Like the fact that we're going to be inside the monolith, like at ground zero, and we're doing all the things we've just said. That's so exciting to me, because if I have confidence or faith in anything, I have faith in the environment and its ability to influence us. So if we're setting ourselves up in a good way for that. So anything else we do within that framework is just going to be creative in a number of ways. So that's super exciting.
Yeah. Anything's possible. There's one of my favorite clips of anything in all of time is this basketball player Kevin Garnett finally won the championship. He was on this team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, for forever, and then he moved to the Boston Celtics. And he's just one of those guys who was really, really good, just never won. And it was he might have all peaked already, or a year after him being the best or something like that. He's just so emotional, and they're interviewing him after the game, after they won the championship. And he's just like, man, I'm so hyped right now. Like, he can't even look. It's just like genuine positive emotion. And it's just like, anything's possible. And he just goes, anything's possible! Like into the microphone, like echoes throughout the whole stadium. And it's just like, this guy just reached his life goal. But he was just a regular dude for a long time and worked hard and accomplished his goal. And just like the genuine thing of just him saying anything's possible is kind of how I feel. We haven't, I can guarantee we haven't put as much work into our craft as he did into his. But I think we're gaining momentum. And, if we think that the house was a great intention, creating a space where we can accomplish things, like we didn't build the house, but we built the soul of the house, I think, or we summoned it. Thinking about that on the level of the fucking Millennium Hilton Hotel, like Stanley Kubrick made a movie, or Arthur C. Clarke wrote a book, and alongside Stanley Kubrick, this absurd book, and then they made it into an absurd movie that was years beyond its time, and they just picked an arbitrary year of 2001, and they came up with this arbitrary shape of 1 by 3 by 9 big black slab to represent this arbitrary idea for different parts of humanity and different times of humanity that represented this arbitrary idea. Not really, but And then somebody was so influenced by that they built a fucking hotel to look like this thing that promoted evolution in humans across the way from these buildings that were destroyed fantastically, ridiculously, extremely surreal, killing 3,000 people with this hotel being basically untouched. And it still stands there. And that was like the foundation of this place. And that's where we chose to go spend our time. Like, it can't get more intentional than that on so many levels.
Yeah.
Like, Stanley Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke basically made this hotel with their minds.
With their minds, yeah.
Literally with their minds. And now we're going to go there and channel the idea and the intention of that. Like, that building was built with the intention of being a representative of this ridiculous tool for humanity. And that's where we're going to go have this experience and create these things, or just feel whatever we're going to feel. I just think that's incredible. Like, all the work that was put into that hotel and our whole friendship and everything that's happened before and after. And then we're going to be there in a month doing a thing that we decided that we're going to do, and we decided to do it, and then we're going to be doing it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And maybe we should.
We still don't really know what we're going to be doing.
We have no idea. No idea. Like, all we know is we're going to be going into the fucking monolith at 88 miles an hour.
Exactly.
And maybe we should get tattoos while we're there too.
I've thought about that as well. I mean, last time, obviously, I had the intention as well, but then I learned that it was going to be more expensive than I thought, and then
that's something I don't want to do. I mean, also Jeremy could give us like tattoos.
Oh, right, I saw he had a video the other day of him tattooing his leg. So
yeah.
I would not object to that. Actually, that might be very appropriate and very affordable. Basically nothing. You're right. Well, no, I'll definitely contribute to the Jeremy Aquilino Fund 100%.
Yeah,
that's cool. If you could talk to him about that, run that by him, even if it's just like a circle.
He said it would be. He's like, I'll tattoo you. You already told him.
Yeah.
He said,
let's do that.
He's like, I'll do that. Anything you guys want. He said. So.
Oh, dude, great. Cool.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That will make it physical. That'll bring it, pull it out from the ethos, right? And then
fountain. Literally the fountain. As we're getting our tattoos, we're gonna have the voice, the face of wisdom guy from the house, just like staring at us, just like, and we're gonna be like, "No, stop it! Finish it!" The eyeballs. I feel like I just remember tripping and just seeing the eyes of the wisdom guy, just like, God. And that was 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago.
10 years ago today.
And I can see that guy. I can see that guy very vividly still. I mean, I know I have pictures of the wall still, but I can see that guy. I can see him. He's always there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. This will be cool.
Yeah. And then if any like new music, obviously, that we want to share, or I'll look into, I know Bjork's going to be in New York sometime around then, which would be completely absurd, but I don't think it's going to be when we're actually there. But it'll be close. But we could look into other concerts and stuff too, to see if that's going on. And then I have a couple of albums that I've been listening to that I'd want you to listen to as well. And yeah, I saw your little jam, your guys' little jam, your Tenacious D jam at Corey's.
Oh, someone recorded that?
I think it might have been Maddie.
Okay. Oh, yeah, she did record that. That was so fucking fun. That was like, out of all the songs that Brian could have played that we all just knew, it was so much fun. Yeah, that was a good time. It was a very chill night, and just, first time got to meet Evie.
Yeah.
Matt and Corey's baby, and she's just adorable. Super cute. I feel like she looks a lot like Maddie, but she has like Corey's like stare. She's got like
best
something
look.
About best look. She's got that best looks gene for sure. And super super cool. They're in a great space. Corey looks complete now.
Does he? That makes so much sense. He's always been a fatherly figure, that's for sure. I'm happy for him, man. I'm a little bit jealous that you got to meet her, but I'm excited to meet her. That's so awesome. My friend actually, so I don't live at the same place that I did when he sent out the wedding invitation. So he sent his like their little like baby card to my old apartment, and then my friend who still lives there just gave it to me the other day.
Oh, nice.
So
It's a
she like
nice
came
card.
she like came into work. She was like, I was like, oh shit, what's this? And I was like, oh yes.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
I got a little bit upset again because she came out 19 minutes before my birthday. I was like, girl, if you could have waited 20 more minutes, we could have had the same birthday. And she
Yep.
came out at 11:41 the night before my birthday. So whatever.
That's awesome.
I won't take it personally.
Yeah, don't take it personally. I didn't take it personally that she was born at 11:41 and not 11:40.
Exactly. I thought of
That's
you
close.
with
Just
that.
1 minute off. If you were just like 24 hours to the minute later.
Yeah, she clearly is already fucking with both of us, but that's fine. I would expect nothing less from Corey and Maddie's baby.
Yeah. She's clearly already fucking with us. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Sweet, man. Well, yeah, I think that was a good. It's just not where I thought it was going to go, but I think it makes perfect sense as to where it goes. And I think if that's an indication of anything, that's kind of going to be the vibe of the entire trip. So I'm excited for us to do this. I'm going to start kind of mentally gathering things and accumulating things and books and movies and music and scripts and whatnot. But yeah, I think we're good. I mean, are we good on like when we're not at the hotel? Like we have places every other night?
We
Yeah.
can either stay at Jeremy's or we could stay at my sister's.
Do you want to like specify that? Do you want to like clarify that before we go?
Yeah, Jeremy said, okay, so Jeremy's working. So wait, when we're leaving, we check out on the 28th?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so Jeremy is working. So maybe we'll stay with my sister on. I mean, Jeremy said we could stay anywhere anytime we wanted, but I figured maybe if we stay with my sister on that Thursday, and then like on the weekend, like we could like Friday or Saturday we could stay with Jeremy. He's off from work, and then maybe Sunday we can go up to Mayapack and we can stay with either Matt. I would say we stay with Matt. That I'll ask him. I'm sure it'll be okay, but
Okay.
I don't want to stay at Mike's place.
Okay.
But then let's see, and then
When's your flight on Monday?
I think it's in like 5 in the afternoon, like 5:30 or something
I
like
think
that.
mine's afternoon as well.
Yeah.
So we won't have to. I mean, we have to check out by noon, which we could go right at noon, and then. Okay, I just wanted to make sure neither of us needed to wake up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah. No. I made sure of that.
Me too.
I've already figured that's not going to be. That's never a good experience. But yeah. So
okay, so we're thinking stay at Matt and Kim's and
yeah, they got their new place too.
Oh, they got a new place?
Yeah, they had to move out of that place.
Is it still in the similar area, or is it
similar area? I think it's just a little bit closer to where the the train station is. So
okay,
walk 9 blocks down that way. I think it's just a couple of blocks the other way.
Okay,
but pretty much the same place. So I'll talk with them. They're already really excited to see us.
Sweet, and, yeah, I'm excited to see them. That was like that's the part to me that still seemed like so surreal, for whatever reason, just not knowing what to expect. I mean, obviously you've told me about that wonderful family, but then getting there is just like, what is this? This is like, it was just right away, just like, it's like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And I've thought about them so much, like since then, it left a real legit lasting impact on me. So I'm excited to see them again and see their new space.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. How was that? 2 years? 2 years ago? 3 years ago now?
3 years ago now. Wait.
3. Yeah. So like last September. So like a couple months ago. 3 years and some change then.
Yeah. Wow. That's trippy, man. So much has happened. Like I was still living in Colorado.
Yeah.
And that was a long trip, man. We did the wedding, then went to Milwaukee. Like, wow. That was yeah.
New York, North Carolina, camp, wedding. Yeah, and then you came back here for my birthday. Yeah. That was a hell of a trip, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be cool. It'll be cool to revisit and have all of these like pilgrimage experiences. It'll be super fun. So I'll find out. I'll talk with Kim a little bit and talk with Jeremy and just kind of give them an idea of what we're talking. I'll talk to Matt. we'll have places to stay. I think also my friend Josh is going to be around, so if something were to fall through, then we could stay at his place in Astoria as well. So there's
And if I haven't talked to my cousin Bill yet, but I mean, I'm sure we could, if all else fails, crash on his floor. I think he's got, and it's just him in his apartment, so I think there'd be, space for us to crash on the floor. I'm not sure what my cousin Maddie's living situation is, but if all else fails, we have options, which is good.
That's great.
They know I'm coming. They know I'm coming, so that we're coming. So yeah, and then my other buddy Matt, who I think you met, I'll double check to see if he's out there as well. He's the one who works in the industry as well, but cool. he's been out in LA working on stuff for the last year or so. So I'll double check to see if he's there too, because his input would be cool too, creatively, just because he thinks. I think he thinks differently than we do, at least on that level.
Yeah.
But he's still a creative weirdo, which is a good,
perfect,
good perspective to have.
Yeah. Well, fantastic, man. This has been productive, super productive. I feel more like I wasn't worried about anything, but I feel more like, a sense of reassurance of our agenda. A sense of our plan.
Agreed.
Good, which is good.
The plan, yeah. It's good too. We could it just popped into my head. See if we can I don't have Chris Sertich's number, but if we can try to contact the age-old soul of Chris while we're there, even if it was just a little quick call just to kind of
we can do that.
Summon the spirit of the Chris.
Yeah. And that'll be really cool. I would love to speak with Daniel too. That'd be really cool to have some sort of thing. And just on that note, when at Corey's birthday, the fact that Jeremy showed up and just hanging out with. Last time I saw Jeremy was at Mike's birthday, so this is I always see him on birthdays. Right when I was about to leave, it was just hey man, I want to be sick of seeing you, and we're not there yet. It's just all right, good. Well, we got to hang out. It was just, I love the meeting of the minds and bringing everybody together. So we'll definitely have to channel all of that stuff when we're in the monolith, because
maybe we can give everyone a call.
We should. I feel like it'll happen. Yeah, we should have a podcast and Skype them in or something. We'll figure something out. It'll work out. It'll be fun.
I agree. I'm not worried at all.
Not worried.
No worries, bro.
No worries, bro.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, we'll keep in contact, obviously, but yeah, rooms booked, flights are booked. Everything is in alignment so far. So just keep tabs with each other. If we get any other ideas, feel free to share them. But I think we're kind of mostly set mentally for this adventure. So good job, us.
Yes, good job, us, and for the Skynet and all the NSA and the people watching this now in all place and times. Thank you for being here, and hopefully this has inspired you to kind of just enjoy your life and make some plans and to figure out a way to do this, because we are creative beings and we can accomplish so much without having to put too much effort in. It's just really about finding that balance and being with people that you respect and you feel creative with. So for what it's worth, thank you for being here, everybody.
Word.
Thank you.
Well said. We'll see you on the flip side, brother, man.
See you on the flip side, brother. Great times.
Peace.